right now, then do that. Because that version of you, that's the one who actually makes it. There's a specific kind of silence that follows a drawdown. It's not just the numbers on the screen, it's the voice in your head, the one asking, what happened to me? You were doing well. You were in flow. Then one loss became two. Two became five. You overcorrected. You hesitated. You broke your rules trying to trade safe. And just like that, you spiraled. Now you're stuck in the wreckage. Your confidence is cracked. Your trust in your strategy is gone. And worst of all, you don't trust yourself anymore. This is where most traders tap out, not because of the market, but because they don't know how to rebuild themselves. But here's the truth. Drawdowns don't destroy traders. Ego does. Shame does. The inability to separate performance from identity does. You are not your P&L. You are not your losing streak. You are not your worst trade. You're a human. And that means you're going to mess up. You're going to overtrade, underprepare, chase losses, misread charts. You're going to let emotions bleed into execution. It's not the mistake that matters. It's what you do after it. So let's break this down, step by step, so you can start climbing back out. Step 1, stop trying to trade your way out. The worst thing you can do in a drawdown is keep trading from the same mental state that caused it. You're emotionally charged. You're doubting everything. That's not a strategy. That's self-sabotage with a chart in front of it. Take a break. Step back. Shut the charts off if you have to. You're not avoiding the market. You're protecting your mind. Let the nervous system calm down before you touch another trade. Step 2, review without judgment. This is critical. Most traders either obsess over every mistake or avoid looking at them altogether. But you can't grow from what you won't face. Open your journal. Look at the trades, but don't just analyze entries and exits. Analyze you. Ask, what mindset was I in that week? Did I follow my plan or deviate? Were my losses structural or emotional? You're not looking to punish yourself. You're looking to understand yourself. Because once you see the patterns, you can start to break them. Step 3, rebuild your self-trust with small wins. You can't go from broken to beast overnight. You don't rebuild confidence with big trades. You rebuild it with small acts of discipline. Wake up and do your prep, even if you don't trade. Mark up your charts, even if you don't enter. Take one setup a day, even if it's on demo. These small wins, repeated, begin to rewire your brain. They whisper, you're back. You're in control. You can trust yourself again. This process is slow, but it's real. Step 4, reaffirm your identity. Drawdowns don't just attack your account, they attack your identity. You start thinking, I'm not a good trader. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. I'll never be consistent. Pause. That voice in your head, it's not the truth. It's the echo of emotion, not reality. Rebuild your internal narrative. Say it out loud if you have to. I am a patient, focused, and disciplined trader. I don't need to rush. I trust my edge, and I trust myself. Even if you don't believe it right now, keep saying it, because repetition builds belief, and belief drives behavior. Step 5, redefine the purpose of the drawdown. You can look at this phase as a setback or a setup for deeper discipline, a setup for emotional mastery, a setup for growth you couldn't get from a winning streak. You don't get stronger by always winning. You get stronger by surviving the losses without losing yourself. That's what makes you dangerous. Not the ability to avoid failure, but the ability to come back sharper because of it. This is your moment. You don't need to rush back into the market. You need to rebuild your base, brick by brick, routine by routine, trade by trade, no emotion, no ego, just clean execution and a clear mind. Because confidence isn't something you find after a drawdown. It's something you rebuild piece by piece. And once you do, once you learn to face your failure without flinching, you become unshakable. That's the edge no one can take from you. So here we are. After the losses, after the wins, after the doubt, the breakthroughs, the spirals, and the resets, Let's talk about balance, because if you want to survive, not just in forex, but as a trader, you need more than strategy. You need mental stamina. This isn't about motivation. It's not about hyping yourself up after every losing day or psyching yourself out every time you hit a profit target. It's about building internal stability, a baseline that doesn't shake when the market does. You want to know the secret to longevity in trading? It's not edge. It's not technical perfection. It's not catching the biggest moves. It's emotional neutrality, that centered space where you can win and not get cocky, where you can lose and not collapse, where you execute because it's what you do, not because of how you feel. That's what separates the amateurs from the professionals. The pro doesn't celebrate green days too much. They don't mourn red days either. They show up every single day with clarity, with control, with calm. And no, calm doesn't mean being emotionless. It means your emotions don't make your decisions. It means your strategy speaks louder than your urges. So how do you build that? How do you create mental balance when trading constantly throws you into extremes? Let's break it down. Step 1, build a system, then surrender to it. You need something to anchor to. When you don't have a process, every trade feels like life or death. Every candle feels like it's yelling at you. You panic, you hesitate, you chase. But when you have a process, a real tested system, you've got something solid beneath your feet. You know when to enter, you know when to walk away, you know what risk you're taking and what reward you're aiming for. So build it, refine it, and most importantly, trust it, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when you take 3 losses in a row, even when the voice in your head says, maybe I should just take this one trade outside the rules. Number, if your system works over time, surrender to it. Step 2, separate self-worth from performance. This one is big. You're not your trades. You're not your account balance. You're not the P&L from this week. You're a person, and trading is a skill you're developing. Treat it like that. You don't call a boxer a failure because they got hit in round 1. You don't judge a chess master by one mistake in one game. So don't judge yourself by one trade. You're learning, you're sharpening, you're evolving. Give yourself space to be human, without guilt. Step 3, create rituals that ground you. If your mind is your most important tool, you better take care of it. That means breaks. That means movement. That means silence. You can't stare at charts all day and expect to be sharp. You can't ride emotional highs and lows and expect to think clearly. So create rituals that bring you back to center, a morning routine, a pre-trade checklist, a post-trade debrief, daily journaling, breathing, walking. Even 5 minutes of stillness can change your entire trading session. You don't need motivation. You need mental space. Step 4, accept randomness. No matter how good your setup is, sometimes the trade won't work. No matter how disciplined you are, sometimes the market will rip through your stop. It's not personal, it's not sabotage, it's probability. And the sooner you make peace with that, the sooner you stop fighting the uncontrollable, the more power you reclaim. You're not here to predict the market. You're here to manage your risk, act on your edge, and repeat that process 1,000 times. That's it. Step 5, zoom out. Always. Trading can make your world small. One trade feels like everything. One losing week feels like the end. But if you zoom out, if you look at your growth over months, not moments, you'll see it. You'll see the progress, the patterns you've broken, the emotions you've mastered, the setups you now pass on, the discipline you've built. That's what matters. You're not here to win today. You're here to outlast, because the market will always be here. The question is, will you? So here's your final reminder. Some days you'll win, some days you'll lose, some days you'll feel like a beast, other days you'll feel like quitting. But through it all, you keep showing up. You stick to your edge. You keep your head clear. You stay grounded in chaos. That's the trader who survives. That's the trader who grows. That's the trader who wins. Not just money, but mastery. And that's who you're becoming. Keep going. Stay balanced, trade smart, and never forget